U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. U.S. Bank. Life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank. Member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zeppos, the home for the Cougar Coaches Show, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. Now, live from Zeppos, alongside Cougar head coach Jake Dickert, here's the voice of the Cougs, Matt Chazanow.
It is that time of the week, and it's great to be here with Coach Dickert as we get set for another home pack opponent, the Cal Golden Bears. We are graced by Coug royalty here tonight. We have the throwing Samoan Jack Thompson in the house with a great crowd here at Zeppos. Great to see Jack. And it's great to talk ball. Let's get Coach fired up here. There you go, buddy.
I mean, it's almost like I'm second fiddle. I mean, we should just cancel the show, bring Jack up here. I mean, it's homecoming week at the end of the day, right?
The problem is that we got to blow the brakes out, and then we got to go an extra 2 hours, and we're talking ball. It's great. But
it's always good. Good to see you, Jack.
It really is great. Great to see him. It's great to have him here. And listen, it was a really tough one on Saturday. Yeah. You're up. You kind of did everything. You did everything right. You had him where you wanted to be. It was an amazing football game. It was an amazing day. Cougar football Saturday, beautiful day. Packed house, really everything you want. Two really good teams going at it. Somebody's going to have to lose. You're up by 12 with 6.5 minutes to play, and it didn't go your way. And a bunch of stuff had to happen, and it did for the Ducks to win. And it was a hard game.
Well, first off, let's speak to the environment.
It was amazing.
Because it was amazing. It was sold out. I mean, credit to Cougs everywhere. I mean, they brought the energy for 60 minutes, and absolutely. I mean, because those are the things that our guys talk about. When they run out the tunnel and they get chills because of just the presence and the students and the fans, it was just incredible. But it was a hard-fought football game. That was two really good teams going at it. And I think, in the locker room, I told them I was the first one to stand up and say, I still believe in this team. I know we didn't finish the way we wanted to finish, and, that's things that you need to do to win big football games in this league, and we just didn't quite execute in the moments that we needed to, right? It was our only 3 and out of the game. Obviously a 2-minute situation on defense. We had a chance to close the door, and, those are things that we'll learn from and grow from, and but this is still a long season, and I think we got a good football team, and we get another opportunity this week to go show it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, over and over again, Brinker and I, the breaks are coming back in the behind-the-curtain moments, looking at each other going, this is a great game.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know if as a coach, like you're into it, but
you're just in the moment.
Yeah,
you know what's happening, and your team is just just right there to just make sure we're going out and getting it. But offense, defense, special teams. I mean, it was not uneventful. We'll say that.
Super competitive, and for the most part, high level ball. Like what Francisco did is a great play, and I don't want to forget on that play. Great blocking.
Yes.
Like two great blocks were thrown on that.
Yeah, Deion Henley, it's an awesome clip. We showed the team. He comes all the way across the field. He throws a late, long arm to spring him really down the sideline. And I was trying to figure out a unique way. Maybe we call him like Sixco instead of Cisco, like
nice.
pick six.
Nice.
Nice. I'm not that creative.
I wasn't that fast on the fly.
You know what I mean? I got to think of all these things for us right out here. But it was fun, and the defense, they bent. They had the 3 red zone stands that really made the game feel like, it was in close. And then the offense to go out there, and we had a confident game plan. And we threw it all out there to hit on 3 trick plays, and to see Cam just do some of the things that Cam does. I think that was Cam Ward on full exposure there, and doing some of the fun things that he does off script. So, it takes good teams to continue to win, and I believe we have a good team.
Oh, there's no doubt that the red zone stops.
Yep.
Round of applause for that for sure from the folks here. Another packed house here at Zeppos.
Great.
Yeah, the red zone stops. Travion Brown, I think, made 3 tackles. There were 6 straight stops, like inside the 5 for over 2 separate possessions. Very rare. It was first and goal from the 2, and they didn't get a touchdown.
Yeah, and there was a couple of times where we knew, we had to be aggressive because if they got in a certain area, they were going to go for those situations. So I thought we did a good job of even moving them back in some TFLs and, really kind of, just shoring up our defense at the last moment, even though we had some voids as we kind of went throughout that game and they got down there. But red zone defense can win you a lot of football games. And like I said, at halftime, we felt very good about really working hard to get the lead.
I've heard a lot of bend but don't break as just a slogan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because the way the rules are and the way methodology works for and I mean the rules not in a cynical way. Like that's the way the game's played right now. There's a lot of passes being thrown. It's really hard to stop guys right around the 50, And so you get in the red zone and you shorten it up. But you don't want to bend too much.
Sure.
But how do you thread the needle there?
Yeah, there was too much bending, too many just explosive plays.
Okay.
And that was one of the biggest things that we went into that game knowing that we had to limit some of the explosive plays that they would have. And, we had to shore up some things this week, run defense-wise, and just making sure our communication's on point, and I think we've done those things. And we have a group of mature competitors. I've used that term before, but, it takes mature people to go in there, look at hard things, and want to get better. And I tell the guys, it's the best thing about football. There's a game 6 days later, right? So when you wake up the next day, it's moving on. And, we'll move on to Cal and talk about them. But hard-fought game, always give the credit to Oregon. They made the plays to finish. But at the end of the day, I think our guys can be better off and learn from these situations and have to finish the football game.
I think we're going to get another gorgeous day on Saturday. It's supposed to be like 75 and sunny. It's game 5.
I'm in year 3 here, but this fall has been top-notch as far as weather is concerned.
Early October Palouse football. There's nothing like it in America.
And these afternoon kicks, let's go.
We're on a roll.
Let's keep rolling.
We're also on a roll with Big Fox.
That's
we keep
right.
on getting these national exposure games, which is not there's a reason for that.
That's right.
There's metrics behind this. They're not picking the Cougs by mistake.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
It's not by accident, right? So which is exciting and great opportunities. And we'll do a full opponent preview segment next, but you got a Cal team that's really different than Oregon in a lot of ways, not the least of which is coaching staff's been around for a really long time, right? Big Oregon coaching staff with who they are. We'll get into the whole thing, but now you're into league play. Right now you're 2 3-1 teams. You look at Cal plus players, great running back. We'll get into the whole thing.
And I think the biggest thing is just not just looking at next week, but you're looking at the depth of the Pac-12 this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's incredible. Like we talked about last week, we could end up playing almost 5 ranked Pac-12 teams, and we could play our way into getting in that direction. And it's just every week, this is what it's about in conference play. You got to bring your A game. This is a much improved Cal team. They're 3-1. They're hungry. They want to establish themselves. So what an opportunity to go out there and play. I think it's going to be a special game. Well,
let's do this. Let's take a break. Next segment is the opponent preview. Yeah. We'll talk about Cal. Our special guest this hour is Renard Bell. I don't think Renard is here yet. He's one of my favorites. I mean, all Coug fans everywhere love Renard Bell.
Yeah.
And he's great. So I'm excited to talk to Renard. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We're live here at Zeppos talking ball with Coach Dickert before the Cal Bears.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I think you...
I meant U.S. Bank.
I knew that.
U.S. Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point-of-sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Want to earn some money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2022 to March 2023. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneSnow.com.
Back after this local timeout on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Do you ever pay attention to overhead power lines? If you're like most people, you don't, but you should, especially when you're working up on a roof or carrying a ladder outdoors. Kids who climb trees and fly kites and adults with drones need to watch out for power lines too. And on the off chance that you find a downed power line, stay at least 10 feet away and quickly call 911 and Avista. Always pay attention to power lines. It's your best line of defense. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
Getting blitzed. Down he goes.
The speed.
To the 50. To the 40. He's gone.
The best in college football.
Toward the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back in the end zone. 30. 20.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network. Welcome back to the show. Time now to look ahead at this week's game with the Coors Light Opponent Preview. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
Back at it live here talking ball with Coach Dickert. Great to see everybody here at Zeppos. It's another slammed house. There are very few, if any, open seats. Love it.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's a trend this year.
Yeah, every week has been unbelievable.
It's awesome. Zeppos does a great job. We've got a bunch of write-in questions here for you, but it is our opponent preview segment. So let's go through Cal a little bit. Cal's 3-1. Now, here's the deal with Cal. Everybody a couple weeks ago was looking at Cal at a Hail Mary that they almost caught to send it to overtime in Notre Dame. They were that close. It hit their best receiver.
Really a wild ending to the game. Yeah. Just really the whole last 6 minutes. It was back and forth. It was stops. It was big plays. And then they had an opportunity to, really get the ball in the end zone to win. And they got a couple big, long, wide receivers. And anytime you get those situations, a Hail Mary could happen. And it kind of bounced around like 5-6 times and eventually hit the ground. And obviously we all know what Notre Dame can be. And that just shows what they're capable of playing a hard team on the road.
On the road in South Bend. Jaden Ott is Cal's running back. He's shattering records, okay?
True freshman
running back.
Yep.
All right? He's the reigning Pac Offensive Player of the Week. Last week, Jaden Ott ran for 274 yards.
Last week.
One week. In the game against Arizona.
Yeah.
He had 3 touchdowns. He had one for 73 and one for, I think, 72 yards. Yeah. So 2 separate, basically.
And I think that's the biggest difference to your point. Last year, you think of Cal, physical, pro style, tough to prepare for because they have all those different, formations, motions, and adjustments, but bigger backs. Guys are going to grind out 4, 5, 10 yards a clip. 6 is different. He can hit the hole and he is gone. And I think that's a different style, and I think his role is obviously just continued to grow over the first 4 weeks, and just like any freshman tailback would, and so they have a special player there, and we got to make sure we corral him.
He was a guy who was batting around. He's a 4-star recruit. He was looking at Oregon, and then he went to Cal, and now here he is as a starter. And
he was Jaden Hicks' teammate at O'Gorman at one time, and I think he transferred to the Bay for his senior year, and I think that's how some of those recruiting stories work out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they're 3-1. They just scored 49 against Arizona. It was a close game in the first half. They kind of pulled away there, and their defense is good.
I think it's a run-first operation, then get everyone to come up, deep play-action pass, and I think the one thing that's been a really bright spot early in the season for them is the quarterback. And the Plummer kid came from Purdue, really experienced, but he stands in the pocket and delivers it and has that escapability where he creates a lot of plays that, sometimes you wouldn't see that looking at a big, tall, long guy that can throw it. So, that's what they're really doing on offense. But to your point, defensively has really been, Coach Wilcox's staple for a long time, and very physical up front, and will be really aggressive in how they play some coverages that'll be a little different.
Plummer's 6'5", 215, but he ran for 81 yards at Notre Dame.
Yes. Like I said, the escape, he gets out of the pocket and is just like, wow, this big, tall guy doing this. So, sometimes those guys get like pocket passer titles, right, or statues. Right, he's anything but a statue, and I think he does a good job of being elusive. And we got to make sure, we got to flush him, yes, but we got to make sure as he's scrambling, we're really good in coverage areas.
He was Purdue's quarterback to start last year. I think he wound up becoming the backup last year. Purdue had a good year. His numbers were okay.
Yeah.
In fact, he had 7 touchdowns and no interceptions at one point. And he's the transfer here at Cal. Now, nobody else behind him, not that it matters, but they haven't taken any live snaps.
No.
Like Plummer's the guy.
He's the guy. And he's making it go, and I think they had a good one last year in Garbers, but he just brought a different element and a little bit more accuracy, and I think he's getting more comfortable in their offense as they've gone throughout 4 weeks.
They made huge offensive line shifts last week.
Yeah.
They shifted everybody except their left tackle, which is pretty rare all at once. Basically like a wholesale change. It worked. Ott ran for 274, and they had a ton of success offensively.
Yeah, they've been doing it. I think they've had a couple guys go down, and then a true freshman ended up playing a lot last week at left guard. And sometimes you look at it and be like, wow, he's actually maybe a little bit better than the guy that was started, and they end up finding something. So we got to make sure that's going to be one of the biggest matchups of the game is our D-line versus their O-line, and we didn't get the pressure we needed last week, so it's going to be one of those things where when they drop back to pass, they got to make sure they feel our defensive line.
Siowapa Vatikani from Reno is that left guard. Credit to Oregon's O-line. I mean, they did a really good job last week.
Fantastic.
They've not allowed any sacks. They're the only team in America.
Okay.
Credit to them.
No doubt.
They did a good job. Hey, Cal defensively, I think it's interesting to know. So the head coach for Cal, you mentioned Justin Wilcox, defensive guy. right? The defensive coordinator is Peter Sermon, all right? And now his son transferred from Washington, and he's the starting middle linebacker, and he leads them in tackles, Jackson Sermon.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic player, and you got a chance to see that last year. And it's kind of funny, though, dad, son going against each other last year. Now they're on this I
was always surprised he didn't go there right away.
Yeah, and just made it, obviously they had a need at the inside linebacker position. He's a great player, and they kind of funnel a lot of different things to him. But it all starts with up front, and they've been an aggressive unit, in the front four, and they'll go a little, odd front, even front. They'll drop a defensive end sometimes, so they're a little bit more multiple than we are defensively, but very attacking style, and like I said, very aggressively playing a lot more man coverage in the back end.
They play a lot of guys, too. I noticed in the linebackers, they're like 9, 10 guys that they've got real production from through 4 games, which is really high.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's very packaging and how they kind of do some of those things. So, like you saw, Oregon did a little bit like what Wisconsin did. When we went all wide receivers, then they'd go to the 3 down. Now we bring in the tight end. Here comes more 4 down packaging. So, you see a lot of those type of things as guys try to defend, what we're doing and try to get more athletes, against our offense because we're doing a good job of spreading the ball all over the place.
Interesting. Their special teams is solid. All those guys are back. They actually have the nation's 3rd leading punter per average. In fairness, he's really good, Jamison Sheehan. Sometimes those numbers get a little skewed because of situations. Not punters don't have to boom it every time. Sometimes you want to keep it short and put it in the 20. Whatever.
How many times are you in short situations? Right. But he does a good job. I mean, he's another Nick knows him, another Aussie. He's like, hey, he's a good mate of mine.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He's a good mate of mine.
That's right. He played. Hey, there's Renard Bell. There he is. Round of applause.
Look at Sharp too, Matt. Look at that letter jelly.
Varsity jacket. Absolutely. Man. Fantastic. We'll get Renard on in a couple of segments.
So they knew each other, and he's like, he's a good mate of mine. And, so it's going to be the battle of the Aussies. But sometimes that ball, can really roll and get some bounces and go from there.
What is it about the Aussie punters? What is it about Aussie rules football that leads to punting? What's the deal?
Because when they're 4 or 5 years old, they're punting the ball.
Seriously?
Like, it's just different. And so Nick's amazing skills. He can roll left and kick it with his left foot. He can roll right, kick it with his right foot. He can kick what's called a boomerang, which is hitting the left side of the ball and it flutters way over to the right.
So wait a minute. He kicks it left and it goes right?
Yeah, it boomerangs with the spin and it ends up going right.
I didn't know you could do that.
You can kick it away from people. But their skill starts when they're kids, and that's just Aussie rules football, and that's what they play.
Honestly, I kind of asked facetiously. I didn't realize.
No, there's a real thing. That's why, everyone goes to Australia to get the punters because they've been doing it since they're little kids, and it's amazing the talent.
Aussie rules football, I don't know it. Is it rugby-ish? Is it a hybrid?
It's very much a hybrid, and I'm learning about it. Yeah. I guess the Super Bowl, I think Nick told me, was a couple weeks ago, kind of, similar the deal, but kind of a hybrid football/rugby.
Interesting. Yeah. For years, we talked about players who played multiple sports in high school being maybe more, not necessarily coachable, but just very athletic, right? Sometimes their feet were really good. Shalom Luwani played soccer, big soccer player. Have you found that? Do you see that? I know coaches a lot, like track guys a lot.
Always,
in general.
Always. And there's so many, the analytical side of recruiting guys. I love multi-sport guys because sometimes when you play football, you train football, you have a specialized guy. They just don't expand and they don't see it. Like guarding someone as a point guard or something in basketball, and obviously the track speed confirms a lot of things. But hand-eye coordination, I'm all for. Go out there, young kids, and go play the game. And I went from football to basketball to baseball, and Summer did all 3. It's just there's something about that because you have plenty of time when you get to college to specialize.
Do you think that players should be multiple sport all through high school?
Some of the best players I've ever coached, you listen to their stories and be like, I just started playing when I was a sophomore in high school. Or my biggest advice always, Matt, to youth coaches, they're like, Coach, Tim, what's the big advice? And they want some scheme stuff. They want some trick. I say, guys, you're a youth coach. Keep everybody involved in the game. Have fun because you don't know when they're 10 years old who's going to be the best player when they're 18.
Yeah.
Have them fun. Give them an experience and then keep them involved in the game. And I think that's how we keep growing this game from the youth up.
I've noticed that practice, and it's different here. This is obviously not a youth level, and winning matters.
Yep.
But winning is part of the fun for kids at this age from a maturity level, right? Like that's appropriate. You're not pushing them to where that's what they want to do.
Right.
But I've noticed that it is fun.
It has
it still has to be an element of it. You can't grind them down to a point where it's not fun anymore. And that's a hard balance. So you want to coach them really hard. How difficult is that for you? And how much do you talk to your position coaches about that?
It is when you get into the course of the season, right? Because when we're in spring ball, we're in fall camp, you interject little activities and we have things and you kind of make sure you keep it light. And sometimes when you get in the season, you get in that, hey, this is a Tuesday, this is a Wednesday, this is how we go about it. But you got to enjoy the hard, right? Because, our biggest saying is winning's hard, however you do it. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into that point, and football's a really unique game because you'll practice football way more than you'll ever play it. And then when it's done, it's done. It's not Matt and Coach Dickert putting on the pads and go playing like a YMCA.
Possible. That's a Zeppos. That's the fourth segment
nobody
tonight.
wants to see that.
Yeah, it might get a little strange.
We might have one play left in us, but that's what makes this game so great. But you have to enjoy some of the hard parts of it. And I think our guys do that well, also finding time, just enjoy it, guys.
Yeah, live life.
Best time of your life right now.
Yeah. All right, that's we deviated a little bit. We deviated. That was our Cal opponent preview segment. In the end, all said and done, if you were to boil Cal
down. Good football team.
Good
Much
team.
improved. Much improved, and they're hungry for a win, and we're hungry for a win.
Same record, 3-1 against 3-1. They just beat Arizona 49-31. We'll take a break. We got a lot of write-in questions. We got Twitter loaded up for you. We got Renard Bell in the house.
Let's go.
Our director of athletics, Pat Chun, just walked in. Jack Thompson's here. We're popping right now.
This is a great place. Zeppos is the place to be.
Yeah, it is the place to be. It is if you can get a seat. Easier said than done. We'll be right back live next, talking ball with Coach Dickert.
Saturdays are made for football, and when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
You already know that free Camus Rewards let you earn and redeem points everywhere at Northern Quest. But did you know that everywhere includes the all-new East Pan Asian cuisine and Neon Pizza? Plus, you'll enjoy our new weekday happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. You'll even save 10 cents a gallon at our Kalispell Chevrons. And new Camus Rewards members can win up to $2,022 in reward play instantly. Only at Northern Quest. Yes, the best.
Cougar football.
Rolling right for the ball, going to throw the long ball down the middle, man open. Watch the end zone, leaping grab, touchdown, and the Palouse is going to pop.
Cougar football from Learfield. Cougar football lives here.
Ball is free, Lockett dives, Cougs have recovered it. Near sideline, Watson, touchdown! Touchdown, Washington State!
The Cougs open up October at home this Saturday when Cal comes to town.
Zone intercepted, Henley has the ball.
Kickoff is at 2:30.
Snap towards, sidearms right, that's complete, touchdown!
It's all on your home for Cougar football. The Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppos. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppos is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppos.
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show.
Somersaults in, football first touchdown.
U.S. Bank, life keeps moving. We're here for every step. U.S. Bank, member FDIC. Here's Matt Chazanow.
Back at it live, talking ball here with Coach Dickert as we get set for the Cal Golden Bears. We've got write-in questions, as promised. If you're here and you write them in, we get them on
first. Up. Anytime you're here, that's first priority.
You cut the line, absolutely. So we've got a question here for you. As always, don't kill the messenger.
That's right.
This is An anonymous one. So
okay.
I don't know who did it. They're sinking into the crowd. Obviously, Jack Thompson is an all-time great Coug. No doubt about it, right?
No doubt.
Who are some of the other past Cougs that have come out and supported the team? How much have you connected with some of the other Coug great alums?
Oh, there's plenty of them. And I actually just got an opportunity to talk to Coach Price today.
Did you?
Yeah, and he's going to be back in town for this
let's
weekend.
talk about this.
And
yeah.
we're celebrating the 97 team, obviously the Rose Bowl team.
25th anniversary.
The season, just the season of destiny and just what they accomplished. And it was fun just to, I've been doing some research on it. I actually watched some of the Rose Bowl game. I watched some of their season in review. I mean, just, I want Coach to come back and really talk to the team. I just think it's important to share, to reach the Rose Bowl. It's the Mecca, right? And to do it and to be the first one to do it and just talk about the heart and the passion of that team. Coach Doba is also going to be coming back. But, Robbie Tobeck, and I have a chance to, meet with Coach Walden. And there's just so many different people throughout the history of, Washington State football. Has just been so supportive, and it's been really fun to get to know everybody.
Love Robbie. Super fun on the air.
Yes.
He's done a lot of broadcast work with Seahawks and stuff.
Yes.
He's great. How have you connected with Coach Walden at all about Wyoming? Also, because he coached both. Have you talked about that at all?
Yeah, I mean, we had the quarterback classic last year.
Yeah,
And I love Coach because he just really tells it like.
Oh, there is no doubt about that. There's no doubt.
There's no messing around with Coach Walden, and so I got a chance to know that pretty early, and he's just authentic and loves the Cougs and just very supportive.
All right, this next question is going to lead to a tangent I'm not going to allow you to respond to.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to get in trouble. The question is, when the officials take a while to figure out calls, how do you use the time? Before you answer that question, I'm kind of curious to know the answer. That's a good question. There was an article that came out today by John Wilner. And he works with the San Jose Mercury News. He does a really good job. He's a very reputable reporter with the Pack, and he's somebody that folks look to as he's well-sourced.
Yes.
And he's done a good job. And he said over the last 4 years, there have been 5 league mea culpas publicly and officially for officiating errors. 2 of them were against non-Pack opponents. Arizona State, Michigan State, an apology to the Spartans. Cal, Ole Miss. You may remember there was a clock issue apology to Ole Miss. And then the 3 others, all the Cougs. All 3 of the others.
And that's supposed to protect me when you tell me
Washington
that?
State.
Is that where you're going to team me up like that?
Look, that happened. That article is out. I don't want to get you. I know you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
There was an issue. One of them was this past week with a situation with a down that was lost. It was, as you said.
And I think the biggest thing I try to do is everything now is reviewed. So let's go to the review. Let's get it right, and try to just stay focused and really talk to the coaches and the coordinators. Hey, what's next? This is going to be the situation. They try to do a good job communicating with me on what the next situation is going to be. But we were on that situation, and good thing we were right.
Leads me to this question.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, while officials are taking time to figure out the call, how do you use that time? Are you trying to say, well, if the call goes this way, we do this?
Correct. We're just talking situations. So, hey, if this is upheld, hey, we're going to be 3rd and 15. Hey, if it's not, we're going to be here. Think about your call. What do we need to get to the guys? Let's get them some information. Let's use it as a positive thing because that's all you can do in that moment is try to always think and talk situations.
Is it harder? Next question. Is it harder to play in 100-degree heat or 20-degree snowfall?
Oh, you ever playing downpour snow? You ever playing that?
As a kid, intentionally, like you go outside, you mess around. But
I would say it has to be through the snow.
Okay.
Like when you just can't get your footing and you're slipping all over the place, and it turns into just like you can barely pitch the ball down there. But the heat is the heat. At least you can function. Hydration and play a lot of guys. But when you're in that snow, that's just a whole different ballgame.
All right, so 100-degree heat, a little bit easier.
I think it's way easier.
20-degree snowfall.
Yeah.
After this is a great question. I don't know this song, and I don't know if I should be embarrassed. After a tough
loss, figure it out.
Yeah. After a tough loss, we played The Morning After from Poseidon Adventure. Do you have a tough loss playlist from Joyce?
I don't know that song either, but I to save that so we can both look it up and educate ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't have a tough song playlist. I just next day it's time to snap out of it and get back to work. I try to do something upbeat, a little country, a little Luke Combs, brings me back to life a little bit.
All right, a little bit of country, a little bit of Luke Combs. That's the way to go. Hey, Jennifer Delzer asks, advantages or disadvantages to having so many home games early in the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always a positive thing to kind of get your season started off right, but it does feel like we haven't been on the road in a while. But at the end of the day, when I think we have some veteran guys, we are a little bit of a younger team, I think it helps them kind of get into routine as we kind of go throughout the season. So I think it's positive and to get off to a good start. And like I said, there's nothing like being out on Giesa Field. There just isn't. And this weekend will be another great weekend.
No doubt. It was a great setting last week and will be again. Trevor Williams asks, on Stribling's grab, this is a great question and is just an awesome play call by Eric Morris.
Yeah.
Alex Brink couldn't have been more excited by this play call. He was super psyched. He said he hadn't seen it before. Stribling's near touchdown grab.
Yes.
Where it caught the defense.
Yes.
Right? The entire team looks for a call except the center, who snaps it back legally.
All right, I'll give you a little insight. We call it Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
Okay, so, a lot of times you clap, you look to the sideline, right? So a lot of times, just like I would as a defensive coordinator, like I'm going to show them one thing, I'm going to try to, get to a blitz, or show them one high, get to cover two, so they don't know what we're in. And we knew Oregon was one of those teams, right? So in 3rd and long, when we clapped to try to get a look, we know they would look to the sideline. So we all stand up and look, and then, the center, yells, "Go!" And then everyone who's not even looking at the ball, they go, and we caught them and stripped down the sideline. Just beautiful call by Eric Morris and tremendous execution by our offense.
I want to reiterate the symphony that is. I mean, that's 10 guys coordinated on whatever the call is on a play you may or may not ever run again.
Yeah.
That worked to perfection, just about. I mean, Strib was a grain, but it worked, right? Stribling caught the ball and made a big play of it. The only other time I'd ever seen anything like it was on a fake spike by Dan Marino, like 30 years ago. He goes up to the lines, a famous play, wide receiver goes deep, and he throws a touchdown.
A lot of those look teams will have it. Utah State in 2019 did it to us when I was at Wyoming.
Is that right?
And they did it at the goal line. They handed it off, and our guy off of one knee, bench pressed their guard, and then made it TFL.
Wow.
So they didn't throw it. So it was a little bit different, unique situation. And you try defensively to look at all the keys.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's when the linemen stand up, that's when you're free to look to the sideline. But that's where we did a good job. All of our linemen were standing up like receivers, and Mr. Freeze scores again.
That was great.
It
was really fun. Really creative by Eric Morris. And thanks to Trevor for the question. Bring Back Our Sonics asks, number one, Moon Ashby moved from defensive line to tight end. How is he progressing, and how has he been at that new spot? It's hard to change positions.
It is hard, and I think it's one of those things, when every time you kind of change style of offense or defense, you always look first at, hey, who on the team can provide value at some of those positions? And you'd be surprised when you really start digging into our roster. A lot of guys that play defense played offense, and vice versa. I bet Bernard over there, he's got to be a good DB at some point.
DB.
Right?
Great DB.
You know what I mean? I tell him, be careful. I'll take him over there every once in a while. But Moon's one of those guys that sacrifice, and he's doing the gritty, dirty work and playing on special teams, and has done a good job.
Scout team, any youngsters? We talked about this a little bit last week. Alec Eckert is a guy I know is playing really well right now.
Yeah, Eckert's done a good job. Bryson Lamb, Rashad McKenzie. There's some defensive linemen coming through the system that we feel really strongly about, and just excited for their growth as they keep going. And like I said, I'm excited to get to spring ball eventually and just see some of these new offensive line pieces. Luke Roten's been a big one that stands out.
Luke Roten, that's a new name for me too.
Yep.
Yeah. Nick wants to know, and if any of this is, because Cal's listening right now.
Yes,
they are.
They do.
That's how this works.
That's one of the things that we make BV listen to the opposite coaches.
There's no doubt. I figured that out right away.
Yes.
The opposition's listening. So they're listening. So
okay, it's okay.
There's no Coug who ever asks a question who would want you to divulge something that would diminish competitive advantage. Nobody wants this. So Nick asks, will we see any two-back sets in this version of the air raid? We saw it once or twice. We've seen a little bit of that. Yeah. I don't know if you want to answer about that moving forward. We can skip it.
No, that's okay. We at times we do use it. I think we'll do some other things to get people in the backfield and just try to create some advantages. But, it's all about personnel and feel, and that's what I love what our offense is. It's getting the best guys in the best position to make plays. So we'll keep mixing and matching our personnel.
His second part of this question is pretty funny. Has anybody brought you up to speed on the downright bizarre moments between Washington State and Cal the last several years? Are you aware of the strangest of the strange?
I don't think I am. You got a good one for me?
A billion. There was a protester in Berkeley, which isn't too shocking, but there was a protester with a stuffed pig at the goal line right before Cal scored a touchdown. She went out and really disrupted the game.
What year was that?
2017, I think.
Okay.
On a smoky night that a game wasn't really supposed – may or may not. It was debatable whether it would be played at all. Also, there were a couple interesting penalty calls in that game.
Sure.
Renard being one of them. He housed the opening kickoff.
Yeah.
That got called back. Tavares Martin Jr. then caught a touchdown. That got called back. Yeah, there's been a lot of – there was a missed kick here and there.
You okay?
Anyway, no, I'm a little stressed out. I'm a little stressed out. I'm a little stressed out about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, we'll move on.
That's okay.
This Coug wants to know, Finn Cal wants to know, how's Juvensky Schlumbaker doing? What's his progress been like?
I do get a lot of questions about Juvensky, and I think because a lot of it, he was an early enrollee in the spring, right? So it makes him feel a little bit more like a veteran, and I think one of our beat reporters asked this week, and I said the same thing. He's still a true freshman. Right? It's okay, right? He's still developing in the program and making sure he's doing the right thing. So I think his ceiling is still high, and, just at this time, he's going to continue to work and do what's needed for the team. But at some point, you might see him out there because you never know the course of a long season.
Sure. And the 4-game redshirt thing still applies?
That's absolutely.
Still can get in there redshirt. What part, Cougs Will Roll asks you, what part of the Coug grade offense have you been most happy with?
Well, I would say first off is just the progress, right? You go all the way back from week 1 and then obviously playing a good defense in Wisconsin in week 2 and just kind of now you see some of the elements that we can really get to and take advantage of, and I think you really know who you are after 4 weeks. But it takes mature competitors, like I said, to keep growing and getting better, and I'm just excited for how those guys, particularly on offense, really just come to work and want to get better, and I think that's what you're seeing is the fruit of their labor.
Thanks for all those Twitter questions. We're up against it on time. There are a couple more, and I apologize for not getting to them. But before we go to break and get Renard on, I want to give a special shout-out. There's a gentleman here, Craig McDonald.
Yes.
Craig's in attendance here. Craig has a flag that is regularly waved at game day here in attendance right now, and he's somewhere in attendance. He came by. I think he got your signature on that flag.
Did.
Or wanted to, yeah.
I think he said he's waved 10% of them. Am I right, Craig?
He's one of the more.
He's waved 10% of all the game day flags.
I love it. So thank you, Craig, for bringing the flag by, and thanks for all you're doing with game day. And he's upstanding right now here at Zeppos for those listening.
It's heavy.
It's a big flag.
It's a heavy flag.
Yeah, it's a little more laborious than you'd think.
It is.
But there's a big, heavy crimson Coug flag, and that's one that folks have seen a lot on game day. And
Absolutely.
it's really fun. Great tradition.
We're going to cross 300 next year.
I love it.
Amazing, right?
It is amazing.
We're a staple of that show.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
We were at a meeting today on campus, and our director of athletics, Pat Chun, said something. It's so true. He said before kickoff every week on the big network, you have this celebration of college football, and there are 3 teams that are always talked about: the 2 on site and the Cougs.
That's right.
And that's
a good way of putting it.
It's so true.
It's
really, really true because of Craig's efforts and those
many across the country.
It's awesome. It's just a great situation. Head to Chipman & Taylor's website for your chance to enter to win Coug football season tickets and Coug swag for next season. Chipman & Taylor Chevrolet on Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, your hometown Chevy dealer where everybody gets a great deal. What should I ask Renard?
Well, you know the joke that's going around, right?
What's going on?
Because we're honoring the 97 team.
Yeah, it's great.
The joke was that, hey, Coach, did Renard play on that team?
Yeah, right.
He's been around so long.
Yeah, the 25th anniversary.
That's right.
I love it. I'll ask him.
He's seen a lot. I mean, Renard, you just enjoy Renard.
That's
he's
awesome.
a good person, and he works his tail off, and he's a great captain of our football team.
I think he may have a future with a headset on, too.
I think so.
I mean, he's great. We'll get it started here. We're live here with Coach Dickert. We'll have Renard Bell on, veteran Coug receiver, next as Cougs take on Cal.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Cal, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 85 critical scores of 90-plus points. Visit them at their Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Want to earn some money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2022 to March 2023. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneSnow.com.
First one. No.
Back at it live here, talking ball. We've got Renard Bell on headset as we've got the Cougs taking on the Cal Golden Bears. Renard's one of our favorites, and we're really excited to have you on headset here. Off the top, are you sick of the old man jokes, or do you like the veteran old man little chip shots that everybody taking on Renard Bell right now?
No, I'm not really sick of them.
Good.
I kind of entertain them
a
little bit.
Good. It's all love is what it is.
Yeah.
It really is. Hey, I know that one of the things that makes Coug fans the most warm-hearted about this year is you. You had a nasty injury. You rehabbed. You came back. You're flying around. You're as good as ever. And you told me that you felt that way when we first talked. Week 1, you said you took a hit, and you said, "Hey, this feels better than it ever has." And how do you feel right now? It's week 5. How's it going?
Yeah, it feels great. To be honest, I don't even. It feels like the injury never happened. The way I rehabbed and pushed myself to come back better than ever, better than I was before. It feels like, I never tore my ACL. So that's great. That's the best feeling about it.
That's great. Early on in your career, you were a deep threat. You still are. But I remember a 66-yard catch, a 63-yard catch. What's your role on this team now versus 2017 Renard Bell?
My role is to, be a playmaker and, when the ball's in my hands, do what I can with the ball. Not do too much, but, get what I can, and if I could break something, break it. Also, we're trying to establish that deep ball game, within the offense as well, still getting on time, getting on page with the quarterback, with Cam. And so that's really what it is, being a playmaker and, doing what I can to help the offense.
How's that been with Cameron Ward? You have a new QB. He's got different arm angles. It's a new system with the Coug raid. Not so nothing you're so unfamiliar with as far as the air raid system goes and some of the pre-snap formations, but seems like every week Cameron Ward just gets a little bit more comfortable. How about on the receiver side of it?
Yeah, just, adjusting to, because we want to have those scramble plays. Scramble plays are really big plays, and we know Cam would throw it across his body across the field too. So, just working with him when he breaks that pocket, knowing that the play is still alive and just getting used to, following him and tracking the ball now.
So you must stay more engaged maybe than other QBs when they're scrambling. They may not be able to make some throws that Ward can make. You're looking live because it's come your way,
right?
Even if he's running the opposite way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like with like Luke and Gardner and Gordo had a little bit of what Cam could do too as well, but with Luke and Gardner, we had to follow their arm and get on the same level with them, getting within their vision because they weren't thinking about throwing across their body and stuff. Cam could do it, Patrick Mahomes does, and kind of flip it to you, without the defense expecting, and then you could be, wide open over here, and he's way over here, and he'll see you and just launch it over. Yeah, I had one like that in spring ball, I think it was. So, yeah, he'll do that.
It's impressive. It's a very impressive arm strength.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You just listed the QBs you've played with here at Washington State. Luke Falk, Gardner Minshew, Anthony Gordon, Cameron Ward. 4 really good guys. I mean, you've played with some of the best of the best. What's that been like?
It's been really good, to be honest. Just being able to play with them. They all have different types of styles, even though, Luke and Gardner are kind of similar, with the mental aspect of it. But Gardner was able to be more elusive with his style of play as well. And Gordo, he was a gunslinger as well. and then he was a little elusive as well.
Yeah.
So, just being able to, play with all of them was really fun.
Did Gordo have the quickest release? Maybe not Ward. Maybe he and Ward. But
it's kind of
got rid of it really fast, didn't
definitely.
he? Snapped out.
It's kind of like those gun battles, those old school.
The OK Corral, yeah. The quick draw. That was Gordon's thing. Also gave the O-line more time. And then Luke and Gardner, super accurate, right? I always remember the NFL scouts I talked to, and to what degree did it affect your play where Gardner was very accurate, super tight windows, so you could expect the ball where you wanted it. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, for sure.
Luke, kind of the same deal, right? That was his thing?
Definitely. When you, especially the 95 play when we're coming across and we know that, the next window that we hit, the ball might be there. So, really expecting that ball to be right there as soon as you cross this linebacker. So, that was really it. And then, tight windows or even close coverage, they would, really nail that ball in there. So that was really something that helped us a lot, as receivers.
Did you get a chance to talk to Luke when he was here that week before in fall camp? Was it fun to catch up a little bit?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's doing this thing, with the quarterback, the 3D QB, and just trying to help, younger quarterbacks out, with their mental game and everything like that. So, but it was good to catch up because, man, it's just wild just still being here and seeing him, doing his own thing,
sure.
Everything like that. And I've been here with him since 2016, so it's been a minute.
Is it surreal? I mean, that it's come no matter what. I mean, eventually it's coming to an end. There's a lot of ball left to be played. I'm not trying to, but have you thought about? You saw Luke. Does it plant the seed in your mind a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely does. I try not to think about it too much. I try to live in the moment. I know when I was younger, I used to think about, man, I can't wait to leave. I can't wait to get out of here. But now it's like, I try to live in the moment, be where my feet are, and just enjoy, where I'm at and, make the most of it and have fun.
That's great. It's a great way to be. Thank you, Renard. Thanks for this time. Renard Bell, one of our favorites. You're on Headset here at Zeppos Live. We'll talk to Jake Dickert again in just a second, getting ready for the Cal Bears.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppos. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppos is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppos.
Saturdays are made for football, and when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
This is Drew Bledsoe, and you're listening to Cougar Football.
Bledsoe calls his play, has the ball, throws a home run ball from the end zone to Bobo. Touchdown! Washington State!
On the Washington State Sports Network.
Cougar football lives here.
Ball is free. Lockett dives. Cougs have recovered it. Near sideline Watson. Touchdown! Touchdown, Washington State!
The Cougs open up October at home this Saturday when Cal comes to town.
Zone intercepted. Henley has the ball.
Kickoff is at 2:30.
Snap towards sidearms right. That's complete. Touchdown.
It's all on your home for Cougar football. The Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Spokane loves sports. We get that. So we built the ultimate sports experience right here at Northern Quest. Epic Sports Bar puts you in the game with a 10 by 30 foot HD TV while satisfying your game day appetite with all your favorite food and drinks. And for even more action, Turf Club Sportsbook is just steps away for real sports wagering. So grab your big foam finger and come see Spokane's next sports dynasty. Northern Quest. Yes, the best.
Back here live talking ball with Coach Dickert at Zeppos. Super advanced, quick programming note. Coach brings up a really good point. The Utah week, our show is Tuesday. because it's a Thursday game, right? So the way the logistics are. And Apple Cup week, it's Saturday this year, which is great. But that would put the show on Thanksgiving. We're going to have the show Wednesday.
Yes,
that
mark
week
your
before.
calendars.
Yeah,
yep.
just
get
for
it out there.
Just to pop that out there, and we'll rehash that as
right.
well as we near it. Hey, earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest. More slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. This is generally a segment where we kind of go through a position group, Coach.
Yep.
We've talked O-line, right? We did a little bit of quarterback one week, but I want to talk running backs this week. All right, Nakia Watson, Jalen Jenkins, they've been the two main guys. They've been the two guys, and Nakia's had memorable special moments in Madison, right? This comes to mind, and that's one game that Coug fans will now never forget. He's etched in history. He's got that 31-yarder. He's got the touchdown run. It's awesome. And then Jalen Jenkins, who's really fast, super shifty. Let's talk about those two guys. How's Nakia been lately? How's Jalen been practicing?
I think Nakia, one of the amazing parts that he really wanted to work on in his game is what he can do after the catch. And I think you saw that at Wisconsin. I think you saw that, and everyone remembers Cam falling down and flipping it.
It's a crazy play.
It's one of those coaches' moments. You're like, go. And Nakia was that go. He made a couple guys miss and made a couple big plays. And but I think he's showing that he can be a complete back. And I just, like I said, I'm really proud of him because I believe in what he can do. I think he always believed in his talent, and he's worked really hard to get to this point. So he's getting there, and I think, we talked about each week, we really got to drive down and open up the run game. And I think those are things, anytime you're ahead of the chains and it's 4 yards and it's 10 yards, and I think it opens up the offense. So I think he gives us that ability, and it's not one thing, and I think it's a group of things that we're working on to get better at, but he's done a good job there. And Jalen, as a true freshman, I think it's hard to come in on the big stage and just be ready to play, right? Just coming in as a true freshman, this summer and getting in the offense. But his role has continued to grow. He's done a really good job in pass protection, and I think you see that speed. But I think you also see those freshman moments. So he's still growing, but just like they have a good true freshman, we feel really confident in what Jalen can do in this offense going forward with his speed and athleticism.
Nakia's averaging 5.4 a touch, and it's not like that's skewed by a bunch of big runs where he stopped. It's pretty consistent. He's generally chipping off 4 or 5 yards a carry.
If Coach Atawaya was here, he's got one phrase.
Yeah, what's that?
Keep the ball moving forward.
Yeah,
and
is that what he tells him?
He doesn't say it that calmly.
Okay.
Right. And he's got energy, and he's just, you know what I mean? And that's what we need to do. And there's tough physicality in the way Mark coaches, and I think his relationship with those guys too is a whole thing to another level. And just proud of that group. And some people were wondering what we could be like at that position, and I think these two guys have done a good job of taking over, and Juvensky and Katz and Payne and some of those guys providing some depth, doing their roles, and I think it's a good solid group.
Yeah, that's part of the intrigue of that question, right, or at least that discussion topic for what Eric Morris visions of the Air Raid or Coug Raid are is
very multiple.
Yeah,
because even now we're recruiting the next guy. It's not just a classic tailback. Can he flex out? Can he one of the biggest things Eric will ask is, can he catch? It's got to be part of what we want those guys to do going forward, and I think that group is shown that they can play within the offense doing those things.
Nakia Watson, 5.4 yards a touch. Jalen Jenkins, 4.5, which is great also.
Yep.
Those two guys have been really productive. We'll take a break, come back. Final segment next. We'll put a bow on it before the Cal Bears come into town on Saturday. Cougs against the Golden Bears coming up.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I thank you.
I meant U.S. Bank.
I knew that.
U.S. Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point-of-sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Want to earn some money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2022 to March 2023. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneSnow.com.
Back after this local timeout on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Cal, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 85 critical scores of 90-plus points. Visit them at their Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
Saturdays are made for football, and when the game is on, we're finally off. Off duty, offline, out of office. A cracked Coors Light is our do not disturb message to the world. On game day, we don't think about the 9 to 5, but worry about the 4th and 1. So this Saturday, grab a Coors Light, press play on some pigskin, and pause on everything else. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshments, made to chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. 2021 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Back at it live here talking ball. We got a couple of minutes. We're talking ball here with Coach Dickert as we get set for Cal. The funny thing about this game, you talked about how the standings, by the way, no North and South this year, just full standings, top two teams, which could mean you have a Pacific Northwest rematch in Las Vegas. I'm just saying you could go against the Ducks. You could have back-to-back Apple Cups. Who knows what's going on? It's a really, really different scenario. But the Cal situation is interesting. This is the kind of team that makes the Pac so hard. They're 3-1. They almost just won at Notre Dame preseason. They weren't picked to win the league. They're not in the top 25. But you look at them, they're almost 4-0, and they just scored 49 against Arizona.
Yeah,
they're really good.
And I think those things grab your attention, and I think that's always good. But I think, like I said, it just shows the depth of our league.
Right.
You know, and the best part, we just told our guys, we will be defined on how we respond. Let's go out and respond. That's what good teams do, and that's what our guys are just excited about Saturday. It isn't necessarily Cal. It's our guys showing a little resiliency and responding, and I think that's what our team's ready to do this week. It's going to be a fun, competitive football game. It's going to be two Pac-12 teams that are hungry for a win out there, and it's going to be a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Are your linebackers tone setters? Like Travion Brown, he had some big hits in the red zone.
Trey's been doing that.
Big hits.
I've seen him do that, but not just hits, but they're tone setters for their energy. Trey is one of those guys that you're around him for a little bit, your day just picks right up because he's going to build that life into you and go out there and do it.
He is that guy.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, big personality. Mawangoa, Henley, Brown. The linebacking core is just – it's a great group. It's a deep group, Thornton.
It's the core of the team, core of the energy, and they're doing a good job going out there, all three of them making plays. I mean, it's incredible what they're able to do.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah,
thanks
absolutely.
for this time. Go, Coach.
Let's
Great
go,
to see everybody here. Thanks to Jared Pren-Guber getting us on the air. Jerry Kylo, as always, is the one who's miking us up. Luke Howlett's back at the U.S. Bank Network Studios. Thanks to Jack Thompson for coming, Pat Chun, and everybody who's here in attendance. Craig McDonald, thanks for his help. Also, all the questions.
Yes.
It's been awesome.
Oh, it's been awesome. What an atmosphere.
It's a 2:30 kick. It's a 12:30 airtime on Saturday. Cougs and Bears. Let's do it.
Let's do it.